All right, there's our rocket ship. Rocket ship Boo is just launched.
What's up, buddy?
All right, my man. It's Halloween night, and I had way too much candy, and my stomach feels terrible now. But it's been a long time coming, and your agent, your beautiful agent next to you, if she's still sitting over there, got us finally set up because you are going everywhere, and you look like you've been having a great time. And I just wanted to connect with you and talk to you about it. I'm very happy to see you out there having so much fun.
Oh, I appreciate it, Pito. Look, dude, we've been having a ball, man. Like, it's the good Lord's blessed me. And as you know, we played a lot with the mini tours, and we've done a lot together. We roomed together, and like we've done it. Practically all the stuff that we shouldn't have done in the mini tours, we did it. You know what I mean?
Dancing around cars in North Augusta at stoplights.
Like, oh, here we go. We're going to do the fire drill, baby. But I'm very blessed to have Susan, with me and to handle everything I got. And I'm glad you got to talk to her and meet her and get me all hooked up right here with you right now.
You know, last time you were on, it's been a couple of years, about almost a year and a half, I think, maybe 2 years ago. Hard to believe the time goes. I mean, when we get older and when we lose our hair and our hair, what we got turns gray, it goes a lot faster, doesn't it? But after the show, you and I talked for a while, almost an hour, and it was just fun to catch up. But at that time, and I had asked you about going to play Champions Tour, and you said you were going to do it, but you were kind of hesitant. You really weren't keen on it. But now you're having so much fun. Was there something that changed, or when you got out there, you realized how much you kind of missed hanging around the guys that you played with 10, 20 years ago, and get to fish and do all those things and hang out and now do video and all that fun stuff?
I'd say majority of it was I just missed the competition. I'd say 90% of it was missing the competition, and I shouldn't say 90. I'd say 80% of it was missing the competition. And the other 20% was I didn't believe in who I was. You know what I mean? And like Susan, I got friends around here starting to believe in me, helping me, you know, on little things that I need mentally that I have to carry just because I'm not home, but I still got to carry. You know what I mean? And doing the things that I got to do and around here and then plus on the road. And it makes a difference when you have when you got you got a pod behind you, you know what I mean? Like a group behind you that you can believe in and know that, like, yeah, if things tear up, well, they ain't just gonna call you right then and hey, it's tore up. They're gonna wait a second and then they'll touch base with you when it comes time. Same thing in golf. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm not going right. I gotta call my coach, talk to Scott. Hey man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, because there's been a lot this year that I did that, and along the way, like at Firestone, I honestly felt like that's the worst there, and at the British Open is the worst I've hit the ball in my whole career. Off the tee, with my irons, with everything. But at the same time, we were trying to make a little bit of a change, and and the change comes from everything else you do in life.
Yeah, it's like if you have doubt in something you're doing at home, it's going to carry over to when you go on the golf course, and it's like, okay, do I take it 5 off the edge, or do I maybe go 10 to play safer? And if you never commit at the level that you're playing at, that's a huge difference. That's a fine line, but it's a huge difference when it comes down to a quarter stroke around. Makes a difference of whether you had a good year or whether you're scratching your head at the end saying, how did I just spend this money and I don't have anything to show for it?
Yeah. Oh, I look, that dude, that's like, it's from last year when I turned 50 and played, I think it was 8 events till about midway through this year, I still had the shakes with my putter. Like, and I don't like the word yips, but I had them. You know what I mean? And and I ain't saying I got rid of them, because you never get rid of them, because they're always that's that Grin Reaper's in the back of your head, like old Champ always said. That Grin Reaper's always back there.
He pop up on your shoulder right out of nowhere.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But that joker's always there, and it kind of helped a little bit. And I got my caddy, Cody is his name, Palmer. his son Blake, or his brother Blake, played out on the nationwide tour, and he's such a carefree person, you know, and it sometimes it drives me nuts in the fact of I'm sitting there getting ready to putt, and he's like, "Hey man, all you can do is line that ball up and just hit that line, dude." You know what I mean? It's like, just hit the line. If it goes in, it goes in. If it don't, guess what? We'll tap it in. We'll go to the next hole.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as a player, that you know, it kind of drives me nuts. But at the same time, listening to him say it the way he says it, it's kind of like, dude, there's more to life than just this putt. Let's just go and, you know, just tap it in. Let's just go to the next hole, dude.
Do you find over the course of a tournament, 3 days, and then you get the practice and maybe the pro-ams and everything like that, and then over the course of this year, as you have a chance to reflect on that, do you find that as you look back that not worrying so much over every single putt at the end of the year, you were not mentally fried as much as you might have been if you didn't have him telling you that? Like just a little, maybe a 0.25% every round, and then over the course of the year, you're not worried so much with that type of philosophy, that I would think you were more fresh than you would have been if you're just frying yourself to the nth degree every time.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is, but at the same, I mean, I'm still gonna go back home and worry about it, and that's the hardest thing, is you try
Yes.
not to worry about it. You know, I mean, like, dude, I mean, it's the craziest thing. I've been home, like, you know, I played the first playoff. I missed, you know, made it, but didn't make it to the second playoff or whatever, and didn't make it to the finals. You know, I haven't slept very good just because I'm replaying everything in my head of everywhere I messed up at all year.
Are you doing that? You're trying to figure out, where could I have saved? Where could I have gotten better? What could I have done better? Is it you just beating yourself up?
It's all about like what do I need to do to make myself better? Or what do I need to do to get myself in better position? But at the same time, like, I felt like all year I had myself in, I don't know, I honestly would say, and like, I ain't broke it down. I ain't looked on a computer. I ain't broke down where I was at starting Friday, Saturday, and then going into Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like there was 6, 7 tournaments that I should have finished inside the top 20 to top 15, 10. You know, or I'd say top 20 to top 10. But then again, here I am. I'm putting pressure on myself, as golf goes, because that's the whole key to it. And, you know, being a full rookie out, and plus at the same time getting sponsor invites, you have to, you know, you had to do all the things that they want you to do. I mean, and people don't know, because, you know, if you get a sponsor invite on the PGA Tour, or the Senior Tour, not the PGA Tour, mostly it's the Senior Tour, or Champions Tour, excuse me.
Yeah, we grew up with Senior Tours.
Yeah, there's a Senior Tour.
And since we're seniors now, we can say it.
Yeah, I can say we're senior. That's exactly right. But, you know, I play a Monday Pro-Am, and then Tuesday I had to do a dinner or a what's it called?
Like
Pro-Am
a charity event. Yeah.
A charity event. And then you got Wednesday, we got a Pro-Am I can play in. Thursday, I play in another Pro-Am. And then you play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, and you're entertaining. And the whole thing is if anybody's met me, that's honestly met me and know me, I ain't going to let you down. No. Like, we're going to go out there and we're going to play golf, and we're going to have fun. We're going to laugh, and we're going to talk about things and do things. And you know what I mean? But at the same time, I done spent majority of my energy. What people don't understand with golf is you need a downtime so your mind can rest. Sorry. Okay. Get on out of him. But you got to have that downtime where you can actually think about things, let your body rest for a second, and just your mental side of it's got to be halfway correct. I shouldn't say it because
rested. You got to give internal's got to have chance to just take it easy and calm itself down. Like I say, you're running. I had John Sherman, who wrote 4 Foundations of Golf. I don't know if you've seen any of his stuff, but we were talking about.
I can't read, man. Hey, I'm all right. Look, I'm like Champ. I'm good with the like little pictures and stuff.
The picture book, C spot
I'm
run.
a picture book guy.
But, John works a little bit with Mackenzie Hughes, he said, and
Okay.
he was talking about they're constantly looking at ways to conserve energy over the course of a week, a month, and a season for the same things you're talking about. If you can, how do you let yourself
You
kind of?
can't do it.
It's very,
There's
very
no
difficult.
way, because ain't no different. Like, I'm an early person. Like, if you tell me to be there at your house at 9 o'clock, I'll be at your house at 8:30. You got what I'm saying? That was the way I was born and raised. That's the way my parents raised me. My grandparents, my mom and dad, everybody in my whole family. Hey, if you got to be somewhere that's important, you're going to be there early, because it shows that you're interested. You show that you're very interested in what's going on, how it's going to happen. We're going to get it done. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Golf don't work that way.
No,
You can
it's
show,
the
like,
weirdest thing.
you think about how many times you've gone out there to play golf with your buddies, and you hit 4 or 5 balls on the range, and then go to the golf course and you shoot 60. Then all of a sudden you go to a golf course, same golf course, and you hit 15 or I'd say 30 or 40 golf balls. You're warmed up, you're ready to go play golf, and you shoot 70. Like, what's the difference? You tell me. And
I think it gets back to what you were saying, is that the more you're comfortable, not just comfortable, but the more you have your things in your life efficient, maybe is a better way to say it. Not comfort, because comfort maybe you get lazy, but you're efficient. You know how to handle if it's not even a variable anymore. If it gets in your way, kind of jumps in the way. So, okay, I know how to handle that. I'll do this now, and I'll get to the rest of it later, because I know what I have to do. I know I have responsibility, but I'm not worried about it, and I can go back and focus on this. If you're worried about something else that you got to go do later, and you're trying to play a round of golf, and your brain is focused 99.9% or 103%, and now you know afterwards you got to go and handle something that makes you anxiety ridden or nervous or scared or whatever it is, and you're not good at it, that's just more wear and tear inside, not so much physically, although it does affect the physical. And I haven't met Susan personally, but I see what you guys post, and I know y'all are having a blast and you get along great, and I'm exceptionally happy for you guys. I hope to meet her soon. But it like you said, it's a big comfort to have somebody, if she's not with you, if she's home, to handle the stuff that is 100%. Off the golf course.
Right there. Like, she's at home handling what I can't handle.
And you're confident that it's going to get done. Yeah.
And I got some good family members that's with me that'll help me too. You know what I mean? And that's the whole key is, and it's a funny thing you say that, because, like, I went through a divorce with my ex, and I downplayed it, because I went through 2000. It really started in middle 2000s. And I went through everything in 2007 or 6. It was finalized, and it wore on me the whole time. And then all of a sudden, as soon as it was over with,
you're like a new person.
I felt like a new person. And look what I did. Now, that's 2006. Like, I'm talking about, like, it got finalized 2000. I got my tour card back, played 2007. 2008, I'm on the Ryder Cup, dog. Like, we kicking knuckles with the Euros. Like, we kicking it. Like, here it is. Like, bring on who you want to bring on. This is balls to the wall. It's like, look, whether we fighting or we goddamn doing whatever we need to do,
we're going to scrap. We know we're going to scrap.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I finally got comfortable with who I was, knowing the situation I was finally in. Because I was afraid I was going to lose my kids. I was afraid I was going to lose everything that I had. And all of a sudden, the judge kind of, like, broke it down and said, you can't lose them. And I didn't know. You know what I mean? Here I am. I mean, like I said, I'm still trying to play golf and doing what I'm doing for a living, because I know I'm gone all the time. And I ain't going to get to see my kids or anything. And not knowing how she was going to respond to what was going on. And it is what you know what I mean? And thank the good Lord, the right people was in my life at that time to get me going in the right direction. And now, just like the same thing now. I'm trying to get myself back together. Had a new hip, shoulder, elbow, had a bunch of stuff put together on me. And I got Susan, and here she is, she's trying to put me back together because she believes in me more than I believe in myself. Because I'd much rather be on the tractor out here on the farm. And she's like, you need to go hit balls. You need to go do this. You need to go do that. You know what I mean?
She's going to have to put like a remote control in you where she gets to hold that thing. She's going to turn it on and let you do what she wants you to do.
Oh, no, she ain't putting no shocker on me. Like one of those dog shockers. No. We ain't doing all that. I tried them, but no, we ain't doing all that.
They didn't work.
We ain't doing all that, buddy.
You had quite an adventurous year between the U-Haul story earlier in the year and then the losing the luggage. And I can't. Well, you were at the Furyk event, and you guys all imitated his swing, and I think you imitated it best. But was there a moment that sticks out when you look back on this year and say, "Man, that was awesome"?
Dude, I'm honestly gonna tell you right now. Every week I pinch myself. I know it sounds, people can say what they want. Pete, you know me.
Mm-hmm.
I played a lot of golf with you when we played the mini tours, and every week's awesome. Every week's a different week, yes. But there's no week that's going to stick out no more than the next week because you still got to do what you got to do in life and business and what we have to do to maintain the insanity of what we do because we're away from our families. We're away from everybody that trusts us, believes us.
Yeah, you're from your support group. You're 1,000, 2,000 miles away from all of it, and it's like, hey, throw you out into the wilderness and go get what you can get.
And it's tough. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to travel and I love to be out there on the road and see all the new stuff. I mean, Susan's a go-getter. Like, she likes to go and like venture and see all the like everything. Like, if I say, hey, look, I'm going to this tournament, she's already like looked everything up of what's around that area.
She's looking at what she's going to do.
We're going to check this place out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, baby, I done seen that. Oh, I tell you what, I'll do it while you're doing a pro-am. You know what I mean? Like, because she might not ever seen it. And I get that. You know what I mean? Because it's something she ain't never got to do, but I'm not going to knock her for going and looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I want to be there, but at the same time, I still got to work. We still got to do, we still got to do our part of what we got to do.
You still got a job. Yeah. You still got your job. Yeah. Yep.
We got a job.
What do you love about what you do for a living? I mean, that it might seem like a simple question to most, but I mean, I don't think that gets asked very often. I mean, everyone loves golf.
I love the game of golf. I love the competition. All right. My biggest thing is competition. Heath Slocum grew up, and you played many tours with him just like I did, and he went to South Alabama, All-American 3 times. Probably, to me, in my heart, he was, if I could beat him every day as a high schooler, I'm talking about in high school, if I could beat him, I could beat anybody in high school. There was nobody could touch him. Maybe Shane Supple, which was from Defuniak Springs, that went to Auburn. During that time in our little, I should say our neighborhood from Defuniak Springs to Pensacola, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say that's, to me, is biggest thing that I wanted is to be able to beat him day in and day out. Because I felt like if I could beat him, like I said, I belong wherever he belonged. Now, he went to, South Alabama. People can say, oh, that's not a university or whatever. It's a university, man. It's a 4-year school. Back then, when we were going through school, I went to JUCO. You know what I mean? I went to a little junior college, Tipton, Abraham Baldwin Junior College, which I loved it there because that place is, that place taught me a lot too. I thought I was a redneck. Them mugs over there were rednecks.
They made you look high
Rednecks.
society.
Yeah, look, I love it now because they true rednecks over there because they had dude, when you go off the back of the driving range, there's a fishing hole. They got deer back there that growing. They got cattle back there. The rodeo team's bigger than the golf team.
Damn.
I mean, it's a bunch of redneck stuff going on over there, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, because I think Sonny Skinner is now running it.
Wow.
Yeah, he's running the whole golf program over there. But I mean, golf wise, man, it's been a very special gift, and like we always gonna have to give our hats off to the good Lord because He's the man that blessed us with all everything that we got, and people don't believe in Him or people don't whatever. That's their business. But I mean, I'm gonna praise Him every night. I'm gonna praise Him however I want to praise Him. But he's a good person. He's helped me out a lot.
What was it like starting out in a small town like you grew up in, and then eventually you make it to the PGA Tour? I mean, you're going from small town USA, your area, but not. I say that, and then they got you and Heath and Bubba all come out of the same area, but that doesn't change the fact it's still a small town. But now you're going to one of the biggest the biggest stage in the sport, and one of the biggest stages in sports. And you played the Ryder Cup, you played the Masters. I mean, you played them all. What was that like? Were you pinching yourself when that was going on, or is it so big that you got to pay attention, or it just knocks you right over?
I wouldn't say I was pinching myself because I got lost in a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I say I got lost, I mean I got lost. I mean, especially the later part of my career on the PGA Tour, I got lost. But my first part of going through the PGA Tour, me and he grew up playing golf together. Bubba was 5 years behind us, and very lucky to play golf with him, because he is one of the greatest, and he always be one of the greatest in my book. He will be. I mean, and is he who he is? He is who he is. You know what I mean? We all who we are, but are we personable? Sometimes we're not. Sometimes we are. You know what I mean? It just
you're human beings.
How you catch us.
Yeah, you're human beings, and the one thing about all three of you. Now, I'd left playing at that time when Bubba came out the year I left. But
right.
Knowing you and he, I mean, and from what I've seen of Bubba and talked to you guys about it, all of you guys are just genuine people. So you are who you are, and someone might not like Heath or Bubba or even you, which is kind of hard to believe, but you guys are all genuine. You're not trying to be anybody else.
No, like, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna talk about Bubba because I haven't got to be around Bubba in a long time, but I know me and Heath, I'm way more outgoing than Heath is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to be happy. I'm gonna stay happy. I'm always gonna be happy. As long as you've known me, I'm gonna be that happy person. Yes, we out there playing golf. I might be miserable for here and there and there and a couple of holes, and then all of a sudden, bam, something's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be like, you know what? I don't know why I'm miserable for that. You know what I mean? Who cares? It's golf. I mean, they can't kill me and eat me. They can't they can't chop me up and do what they want to do to me. I mean, it is what it is in golf. And don't get me wrong, it sucks. It really does, because golf is the hardest thing. The mental side of it is the hardest thing to comprehend. It's so hard to comprehend because you can stand on that driving range and stripe it, and all of a sudden you go to the golf course and you stripe it off the first tee, you stripe it off, you make birdie on the first hole, and then you cruising around there, you're making like you're 2 or 3 under, and then all of a sudden you hit a foul ball. Like, where'd that come from? Is it now your whole mind starts running again. You're like, where'd that come from?
I don't think many amateurs understand that they see tour pros, and they'll sit there and they'll watch someone like you at the range, and you hit it as straight and as good as anybody, and they'll say, how does this guy ever shoot higher than 68? But what they forget is you are a human being, and you got a mind and you got a brain, and you're confident when you're confident, but you also get insecure. Not you, just all pros in
Oh
general.
no, I'm still insecure.
Yeah, meaning human beings, like, you know. And
Yeah.
look, I didn't get to your level. I didn't even get close. Played the mini tours, and you went on to do some really good things or great things. But still, I'll still play with people even at 52, and they'll say, "You think of going to Champions Tour?" I say, first of all, no, because I like my own bed too much, and my body's too banged up, so that ain't happening. But and they'll say, well, you know, you hit this and you hit it good. And I said, yeah, but I'm human too, and I didn't, whether I didn't develop it enough or whatever. I don't want to have to go through that in that level of competition to where the food on my table depends on if I make this putt or not. The level
I
of
don't think it
stress
got to
on
do
that.
with development. I honestly don't think it got anything to do with development. It's got to do with how hard you believe in you. And you can believe in everything you want, but at the same time, the good Lord's got to bless you somewhere.
Yeah.
And He's going to give you a spot. Now, whether that spot's what you take or you don't take, you know what I'm saying? And it happens. Everybody goes through it in life. Sooner or later, they're going to run across this, like that split in that dang road.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to run across it. You know, and I know I'm probably wrong. With, like, I drink a cold beer and I'll have a little shot of alcohol, whatever I want. But at the same time, I know that when I lay my head down and I go through everything that I went through that day, He blessed me in every situation that He can. And He gave me that spot. Whether I made it to the right, like took the right path or I took the wrong path. And you're going out there and you got to go out and practice. You know, there ain't nobody giving you nothing.
No.
That's the whole thing. There ain't nobody going to give you nothing.
No, in fact, there's people
go
trying to take it from you.
Yeah. There's people out there, they're going to take it from you.
Uh-huh.
And they're going to beat you down. They're going to beat you down. And that's the whole key is you got to be able to be strong enough to understand who you are as a person to play this game first. Because the golf game is going to beat you down. It's going to humiliate you. It's going to beat you down. And then all of a sudden you got other people telling you it's going to beat you down. That you're not good enough. Or you're not this. Or you're not that. There's always going to be the negativity. But that's where you believe in what you're doing. When you're practicing. Day in and day out. Of who you are to make it.
Do you have anything that you do pre-round or during the round that when you feel yourself drifting, maybe you start you head down that path and maybe second guessing, or you start to lose that belief? Is there something that you do either while you're warming up or early in the round and or catch yourself mid-round?
I ain't gonna lie about it. I drift a lot because I don't know if I got ACD or OCD or 3DD. You know what I mean? I could be like R2D2. I don't know what the hell I got, but I got something. You know what I mean? But that's just who I am as a person. Because one minute I could be happy as all get out, and the next minute I could be mad at myself. But my caddy, you know, and we're still learning because he's a young guy and good. He's a good caddy, and like he's still trying to learn me. You know what I mean? Like JoJo, I don't know if you remember JoJo.
I remember him. Yep, when you won. Yeah, when you won here at Harbortown.
Yep, one here in Harbortown, or one there in Harbortown. You know, I mean, like, you know, he was always one of the ones that he was calm. He didn't care. All he wanted, it seemed like all he wanted was just this check. It didn't matter. Like, hey man, it don't matter if we finish 58th or if we finish second or if we win the dang tournament. I'm gonna get paid, no matter what. You know, and that was his whole demeanor, and that's what Cody, the guy I got now, that's how his whole demeanor is the same way to me, and which is a good thing because it took me a little bit of time with me and JoJo mentally to figure out how I could talk to him in the fact of when I'm mad, how I can express myself when I'm mad and get him to fire me back up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, or keep me from going down. You know what I mean? Like, get me from going downhill. Because, you know, when you start going down that little rabbit hole, you can get like, you know, oh, I'm just going to make a bogey here. I'm just going to make another bogey here. Who cares? You know what I mean? And he's starting to understand that a little bit of who I am as a person. But at the same time, we're still, you know, 'cause you're always working on that. And a lot of people don't believe in that, you know, as amateurs, but pro wise goes, you know, like, cause every shot to me is $1,000.
Mm.
Every shot's $1,000. If I miss a shot, it's $1,000. I just lost $1,000. If I miss that putt, it's $1,000. Ain't no different. I'm playing with my homies back home, even though we're playing for $5 or $3. That's $1,000. That's how I feel in my heart. That's how I feel in my chest. You know, so I mean, so you got to figure out how to separate yourself and to be able to believe in everything that you do because you practice. This is why you practice. This is what you do. This is why you have him. This is everything that goes on. Because if not, why would you have a caddy out there?
Yeah, it sounds like you learning as much about yourself as it is how to work with having a partner, more or less, who's your caddy.
Oh yeah,
The same way you. For somebody out there listening who might not have played at the pro level or a very high level, but you know, if you're in your job as an accountant or, you know, a salesperson or whatever you're doing, you know, you have that, but you also have your wife or your husband, whoever, you know, that you need that. Sometimes you have bad times and it's going to affect your job. You got to have them support, and how do they lift you up, and how do they keep you back on track, and vice versa. So it's learning, I think, a lot about yourself as we age.
Oh, that's the hard. To me, that's the hardest part, because like I look back when my 07, 08, 09, 10, like, and I hate to even say it the way I'm finna say it, but I was an asshole. I was a total asshole because all I wanted was one thing, and that was to be a winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shut everybody out of my life, my mom, my dad, and I shouldn't say I shut them out, but it was kind of like I went on with my career, and I went on like, this is every day I got up, went and worked out, I went and did everything I needed to do to make me better mentally. Because the golf ain't, that's all it is mental. Because everything we do is, I mean, everybody can swing a golf club. You know what I mean? You just got to learn how to swing it. You got to learn how to, like, you just got to learn how to swing it. And, all right, yeah, I hit a cut. Well, guess what? I'm going to line up on the far right side of the tee box. I'm going to aim down the left side and hit my cut. You can play golf. I'm a drawer. I'm a toe drawer. Well, guess what? I'm going to get on the left side of the tee box. Now I'm going to aim down the right side, hit that little toe draw out there. You know, you can play that game, but at the same time, you got to figure out in your head how to put it all together. And it's so hard. To me, that's the hardest thing of playing golf. Like I said, like, dude, I wake up with nightmares. No, I shouldn't say nightmares, but I wake up at night thinking about everything that I've done wrong this past year. Since I've been home from missing the second stage, I've been trying to figure out where I messed up at. And and I know 90% of I shouldn't say 90%, 70% of where I messed up at is going to be putting. Because I felt like I'm holding a rattlesnake. I mean, I had the yips. I had the, whatever they want to call it. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, 3 foot and in. I mean, dude, when you top a ball from 1.5 foot and it don't even make it to the hole, like, you got some issues.
Yeah,
you know? And I know, like, I got anxiety, but I don't know how to, like, I'm trying to figure out how to cover all my anxiety up. And it's hard to cover it up. And that's what people don't understand.
When the years that you were on the tour and you were so focused on winning, you know, that was your only beacon. And you said, you know, you were an asshole to a lot of people around you.
Oh, yeah.
What was it that you learned from that you have a beacon that you want to win now, but you're not the same type of person, or the same type of person to those around you?
I'm way different person.
So what was it? Something you reflected on, or do you just know that what you don't want to do, and you have a more clear idea of how you do want to be now, but have the same goal of wanting to win on the Champions Tour?
I don't. If I go to that person, I'm gonna shut down a lot of things, and I don't want to shut down all the things I got because I got
No,
too much
it's
love.
that's not a life. I mean, and you've got better
Yeah,
support now. You know, like you said
but
earlier.
I'm being serious. Like, because you shut down a lot of things. You shut down a lot of people that's in your life that means a lot in your life, and that will help you in your life to learn. I mean, and every day we're learning. You know, we're humans.
Hmm.
You know, but at the same time, I don't want to put myself in that predicament to where I shut down somebody that I love or care about or want them in my life versus to make $1.5 million.
Exactly, and you know, I think we're at our best when we do things the way that we're meant to do them, and knowing you, and I, you know, we're not talking every week or every month. It's longer than that, but knowing you for, well, God, it's hard to believe it's over 20 years.
It's been over 20 years, yeah.
But you are a very happy person, and I don't see you thriving, at least not thriving for long. You might have won money and had the money, but that's just not who you are. You're always happy. You're always smiling. You're always bringing people together. And for you to be so focused and eliminate the things in your life that were meaningful to you, that to me, that's not the way the Boo Weekly that I know would do it. So I think you might be one reason that we see you having so much fun now. You might not have won yet, but I would say that most people who know you're betting that it's going to happen, and it's going to
I,
happen soon.
and I believe it's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen, that I'm going to win and enjoy life because, I mean, it's there for the taking, man. It is. You know, and at the same time, I mean, I feel like I'm getting closer. Still got to work a little harder at what I need to work at, but at the same time, you got to have the people behind you,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time, you got to believe in yourself. That's the hardest thing is believing in yourself. Like all amateurs, all everything that you do is like college kids. Like that's the hardest thing, man. It's
What
the
is
hardest thing to believe actually in what you're trying to, not that you're trying to prove. It's just what you're trying to prove to yourself, more or less. It is what you're trying to prove. It's what you're trying to prove to yourself. Because yes, I was a world beater at one time. Yes, I felt like I was a top 10 ball striker in the world, and I mean, in my heart, that's what I felt. Now I played against Samuel Rachels. To me, he's the best ball striker I ever seen in my life from the
really?
Defuniak Springs. Played against Tiger Woods. Yes, he's one of the best ball strikers ever. Anthony Kim, Lucas Glover. Like, these people ain't going to, I mean, they going to get their credit. Tiger Woods is going to get his credit. Anthony Kim's going to get his credit. You know what I mean? But, like, you take Lucas Glover, you take, what's his name from the Defuniak? I just said his name. I'm sorry. Oh, huh? Samuel Rachels. I mean, like, people like that, you look back, I mean, that can actually strike the golf ball, that make things that can happen. That makes it happen. Like I'm talking, and I ain't talking about just standing out there just hitting because we're in the middle of the fairway. I'm talking about hit shots, like to make the ball cut and and I ain't talking about like landing up there next to the pin 3 feet. I'm talking about just hit the shots that they're talking about with their caddies.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all out there. I got my caddy, you got your caddy. We're all out there together, and we're talking. You're in a whole row. We're going through the motions, and all of a sudden you see what really goes on. It's amazing. Like it's totally amazing.
Would that be one of the most interesting things that people at home don't realize is the conversations and the way that the guys can hit balls, or not hit balls in the rain, but the things that they can do with the ball when they say they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you had to pick something that if I said what is one of the most interesting things about either being on the PGA Tour or the Champions Tour, would that be one of them, or would it be something else? that people at home don't know about. But
I couldn't hear you. I lost you there for a second.
What would that be the conversations that you mentioned where you hear like Tiger or any of the other guys that are really, really good ball strikers, when you were in your heyday, would that be one of the things that people would find most interesting that they don't know about the PGA Tour or the Champions Tour? Or is there something else that people would say, man, I never would have guessed that?
Now, I would have to say that, I mean, everybody hits it their own way. I mean, you take like Ernie Els. I mean, his swing looks the exact same, dude. Like when I came out, like, you know, my rookie tournament out on the Champions Tour, I got paired with Ernie. I mean, and his swing is the exact same it was when I played with him in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way through my career out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same. He goes about it the same. You know, but at the same time, you look at him, he loves it, but he loves life, you know, because it is Ernie. You know, not in the fact that he won all these tournaments. It's just Ernie. Because that's who Ernie is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, I mean, he's one of the greatest humans you ever going to meet in life. And I'm very fortunate I got to spend a little bit of time with him and be a part of his life, not only golf course, but off the golf course. And, you know, it's amazing to me that you get to see how everything breaks down, whether it's the PGA Tour or whether it's the Senior Tour. It's all the same. It really is. I mean, now the Senior Tour is working harder because now, you know, it used to be like Joe Durant said, it used to be where they had the pins more like 6 on, 6 off the right. Now it's 4 on and 4 off the right. So now we're playing like nationwide tour stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And PGA Tour stuff. Where the tour used to be, like you were saying earlier, it's more of a retirement. Well, it's not a retirement no more. It's more like, hey, look, you got to come out. If you want to play on this tour, it's the hardest tour to get on. The Senior Tour is harder than the PGA Tour, man.
Yeah, well, there are 5. What'd you say? 5 spots at Q School?
I think there's 5 spots at Q School. Yeah,
and then all the exemptions that we were talking earlier. You know, Scott Perrell, he's won what 3 times on the Champions Tour.
I think he's won 3 times on the Senior Tour, and I mean, you look at the money he's made. He's made over $6 million on the Senior Tour,
and he's got to go back to Q School.
Yeah, he's going back to Q School right along the rest of us.
That's amazing.
I mean, you know, and it's heartbreaking in the fact that he has to do that, but at the same time, you know, you take the PGA guys that's been out there on the PGA Tour, that's busted their butt on the PGA Tour. You take like Heath Slocum's won 4 times. You take me, it's won 3 times. You know, and there's more guys that are coming out every year. You know what I mean? And granted, don't get me wrong, we're playing under Tiger money because that's when Tiger came about. You know, and he upped the scale for everybody, and he made all the money for us available to how we want to play. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'd play 3 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever I played. As soon as I made what I thought was enough money, I check out. You know what I mean? Like I'm checking out. I'm taking 2 or 3 weeks, especially if it was hunting season, or like mullet were running, like our fishing season was going on down here. I'm checking out. Like I'm gonna take 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off. I'm finna go catch some fish, or I'm finna go catch a deer somewhere hiding. Whether I shoot myself or I shoot a buddy, or I'm shooting something. I'm gonna hear something squall. You know what I mean?
That's interesting because I remember early, you know, going back when you first got on the tour, your first couple years, and you had, I don't know, it was an interview or you were hosting PGA Tour or something on the television, and I remember them asking you, how long are you going to play? And you said, I get somewhere, if I can get to 10 million, I'm done. And then last I checked, you were pushing 17 million in career earnings. And here we are talking about you grinding it out and wanting to kick somebody's rear end again. So what changed and what's the motivation for you to want to jump back in the frying pan?
Well, I'd say really what happened then was I was trying to make enough because back then before all, everything was set in motion. Went through a divorce, unfortunately, but to set it all in motion, I just wanted to play golf, and I still love the game. If I can make what I made out there on tour and be here teaching, or just, and not saying I'm teaching because I can't even teach a rabbit to jump. You know what I mean? But at the same time, unless you shoot at it, but other than that, that'd be the only way I can make it jump. But just to be able to help the kids, what I would love, and to show them something, and to give them a little bit of insight to help them later on in college would be what I wanted, because I wanted to come back home, and that's what I wanted to do, because my kids was at home, they didn't understand golf, and my ex-wife didn't understand golf. She didn't care nothing about golf, and I totally get it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a hard thing to understand. Because like I said, you shut everybody out when you're trying, like I was trying to do this and do that. But getting onto the senior tour, I'm like, man, I'm back. Like, I ain't going to say I'm healthy. I'm not 100% by no means, which I don't know anybody that's 100% unless you're under the age of 25.
No kidding.
You know what I mean?
What it's like. Yeah, I forgot what it's like to feel good when you get out of bed.
Your neck hurts, your back hurts. Something's going to hurt, man. And knowing all that is, I know everybody out here, they hurting too.
Mm-hmm.
But we're playing in the fact that we love the game. We want to make the best, not just for us, because they can't bury me with the money I got. They can't bury me with all the land I got. You know what I mean? I mean, I just want it for my kids. All four of them. You know what I mean? Like, I want it for all my kids. I want to be able to have, like, all my kids say, hey, look, I want you to have this. I want you to have that. Take this gun, you get this gun. You take this fishing rod, you get this. These are the things that I want in life. But when it comes to golf, like, the burden's on me. It ain't I don't want y'all to carry that burden. Because, I mean, it's a burden that, like, my kids can't carry. Because they don't know how hard it is to work at it. And not saying the kids are nowadays lazy, but a lot of them are. You know what I mean? They lay around, don't do shit. Excuse my language, but they lay around, and at the same time, I mean, it's a tough era because, like, we worked so hard to provide for all of them so that we could give to them so that they don't have to work as hard as we had to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think kids today with the social media thing, there's so many distractions that we didn't have back then.
I like to throw that phone right up whoever invented this butt.
Yeah, I mean, we had distractions. Video games came along.
Butt, man. But I chunk it.
Yeah, you smash it in a million pieces.
Yeah, right up his hind end, like all of it. Because, I mean, that's what's killed society. I mean, our whole world, man, is the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, let's go back to, you only get 10 minutes to talk on your phone a day. Let's just go to that. Like, who you gonna call?
Yeah. Back when if you talk more than 10 minutes, your rates are like $3 a minute. Remember that?
Yeah. Now we've been like, we've been to cut some shit off.
Yep.
Damn right.
The only reason I had a phone when I think I got a phone when I started playing when I met you guys. And I only got it in case something the car broke down or something like that, right, and I needed to call somebody. I was afraid. Is that
when you were living in Hedgeland?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! That's a long time ago.
Long time ago.
I know, man. That's what I'm saying.
You and I have talked about this a couple of times, and I know you've talked about it on different shows and with other people, and obviously everything in the world has changed over the course of a career. How has golf changed, whether it be good or bad, as you look back from when you came out? You got your card. You were at Q school in 2001. You got your card. You played the tour. You were back on Korn Ferry. Got on the big tour again. And
I had to say golf has gone backwards.
In what way?
Because they started to build golf courses that are longer. All right. And they shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to. I mean, they can build golf courses that are still 7,200 yards. That's the max it needs to be. All they need to do is grow some rough up. You know what I mean? Take the driver heads away. Make the driver heads back to what we used to play.
Yeah, 300.
Take the golf ball away. Let's make the golf ball back to what the golf ball used to be. Let's make it let's get it back to where you can control the spin of the golf ball, control the spin with a driver. Like, because I mean, dude, you can stand there I played in a charity event yesterday, and on the NAS at the Navy base here, and I'm playing with a buddy of my friend of mine, and I mean, granted, he hits it a long ways, but when you can drive it on a green that's 330, I mean, for real, that's not golf no more. And I hit a good drive there, and I was 40 yards, almost 50 yards short of the green. Here I am. I'm a PGA professional, and here he is, an amateur. And I'm not saying he's going to drive it like that every dang time, but he still can drive it that far when he connects with it. And it's all got to do with the golf ball, got to do with the new heads, got to do with everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everything is. It's just swing as hard as you can.
Yeah, and just swing as hard as you can and hit it high. Just hit it high. There's no creation in golf no more. There's not how can I maneuver the golf ball? There's none of that no more.
I think tennis seemed to have started that before golf, and I think golf followed suit. Tennis. Have you ever watched any old tennis videos from?
Dude, I'm too busy watching my own self on the damn tractor. I don't follow golf. I follow a little bit of college football because I'm an Alabama fan. Roll damn Tide, but other than that, no, I don't follow too much of professional nothing.
Who are some of the guys you enjoy playing with the most? If they said, "Hey, Boo, we're gonna let you pick your foursome on Friday," who
I mean, Arnold Palmer was awesome. Lee Trevino was awesome. Playing with my mom was always awesome because she's always gonna be my biggest fan. You know what I mean? Because that's my mom. But at the same time, it was just playing with the guys out there is always you're always gonna pinch yourself because I got to play with Padre, I got to play with Lee Jansen, I got to play with everybody. That was part of Tiger Woods. I mean, you can name all the people, but you ain't gonna ever cover everybody's bases of who you play with because there's been times that you don't even remember. Sometimes I don't remember because I might have been playing. I wasn't playing good when I got paired with them the first 2 days, and it's I knew I wasn't playing good, but here we are. We're playing with them, and we're paired with them. And in Poultry, he's an awesome player. Sergio, awesome player. You know what I mean? To be able to play with these people and to say I played at the highest level with them. I mean, dude, it's a pinch every day to have that opportunity to be able to play with them.
What if golf is known, or it has the reputation of being pretty buttoned up, and
being what now?
Buttoned up,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do know that. Yeah, and I don't fit that category. I know that.
No, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is you're not buttoned up that way. Do you think golf would be better suited if it relaxed a little bit more? And I think it has, or it's trying to. You got guys wearing the hoodies now, and there was a big stink about that when who was it, Tyrell Hatton or one of those guys wore a hoodie at one of the events, and it got so much exposure, and there was all this debate on it. Now guys are wearing hoodies everywhere, but for someone who is not a buttoned up type person, not your personality, you are who you are, and that's why everybody loves you. Do you think that the game would be more benefited if it had a little bit more relaxed and let's have a little bit more fun?
Yeah and nay, but if you're gonna be a professional, you better act like a professional.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta dress like a professional. You're gonna wear your shirt tucked in. You're going to wear a collared shirt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the way I was raised. That's the way I believe is that, if you're gonna play professional golf, you're gonna look the part. You got to play the part. If you're gonna be the part, you definitely got to dress the part. Whether you're a caddy, whether you're a pro golfer, what you are. Wearing shorts during the tournament, like the Live Tour. I mean, I'm not talking about the Live Tour, none of that, but that's their business. But I think they should wear long pants because you're still playing professional golf.
Mm-hmm.
You got to act the part. You got to act professional. You got to be that person, and wear your hat right. When you get done, you sign the autographs. Whether you shot 80 or you shot 60, you act that person. Whether you like it or you don't like it. I mean, you got to be that person because there's more to life than just you and me and everybody else. You got to, like, all the fans that are there. They ain't there. Look, that's what pays our bills, man. And that to me, that's the biggest thing of what we do in life, or what we do in golf, I should say, and life is you got to take care of the people that come and watch you, or take care of you, or pay your bills and everything that you do. That's, to me, you got to act the part. You got to wear, whether you want to wear long pants and a collared shirt and button down or whatever it is, that's part of the tour. That's what you got to do. You got to
Mm-hmm.
be that person. Now, I call it my costume. I mean, and that's what I call it, because when I'm home, I'm wearing old holy shirts. I'm wearing old beat up stuff. I'm wearing what I want to wear, because now I'm home and I'm in my own element.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm out there, you still got to be, you got to uphold who you are as a person, day in and day out, whether you want to or you don't. You still got to be that person.
Do you think just the game in general has relaxed on the restrictions some, and that, like, that's just like golf shoes have gone more to the tennis gym type shoe, or more
I wore tennis shoes
forever.
off and on when I play golf.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's I've always done that. I mean, that's just, yet, growing up, I've always wore tennis shoes.
But it seems like the game has accepted that more, and designers are even making their golf shoes more like tennis shoes. It's almost hard to find a pair of classic shoes now.
Look, I wear Skechers, and look, dude, and I'm so happy that Skechers helps me out, and they send me some shoes. They do, they've been at my beck and call every time I've asked for a pair of shoes, which I try not to ask. You know what I mean? Because you never want to overwhelm what you got, and at the same time, you try to be appreciative of what you got, or what you get from somebody. And, I got a pair of slip-on shoes, the best shoes I've ever owned. Like, and I honestly can say it. It's the best golf shoes I've ever put on. It's a set of Skechers for me. No, that fits my feet. You know what I mean? I ain't going to say it's for everybody, but the Skechers were like, it's a slip-on pair, man. I ain't got to tie them. Like, my big fat butt, I can't bend down and tie my shoe every dang time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to, god dang, I can slip these mugs on, dog. I can just, like, look, as soon as I slip them on, it's like I'm in golf mode now. Here we go.
You were one of the first guys to start wearing tennis shoes playing golf. Like, you might have unknowingly kick-started the whole movement towards the industry, moving towards more comfortable, casual type shoes from the old leather bottoms. And
I might have, or either way, I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you this: I wore rain pants when everybody was wearing, where everybody, because I had a little skin disease, whatever it was on my leg from a cow, but I wore rain pants when it was 105 degrees out. You know what I mean? And walked around with them. And people are like, how you wear them? Like, man, I got to wear it. Because, I couldn't wear it. I couldn't wear khakis. I couldn't wear cotton at the time. And then I learned that I can wear nylon. I could wear polyester. I could wear certain things that wouldn't irritate what I had going on. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, okay, well I can try these out. Well, I started wearing these nylons, and or I shouldn't say nylons. I don't know what to call these dang pants I wear half the dang time. They're Columbia made them, and Mossy Oak made some for me. They were camo, and it was fun to wear that stuff. You know what I mean? Because that was me. That was at the time. That was what I had to wear. But now that I can wear regular pants, I wear Columbia, and they've helped me out over the years, and it was a good thing.
What does it when you're off? I know when you're home, unless you got something you're preparing for, you're usually doing other things that you like. What's a typical week or two off look like around the Weekley household? What do you do?
Telling. Like, ain't no telling. It all depends on what I've tore up, what my cousins tore up, or what my sons tore up, or what my wife's tore up, Susan's tore up. You know what I mean? Like, you don't ever know, man. Like, when you come home, we don't know what we tore up. You know what I mean? And so, like, I got a tractor over there, like my smaller tractor. I got two tractors, and my 4120 kind of tore up right now. Front seal's kind of messed up on it, it's leaking oil. My cousin was helping me on the property, moving some logs and moving trees and moving stuff. So we get ready for hunting season.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's over here driving it, and all of a sudden he noticed a leak in the front right seal. Well, he's like, hey, man, we got a front, he didn't, the thing is like, he's one of these people, he won't even call me because he knows I'm out playing. He calls Susan and tells Susan. You know what I mean? Like, hey, tell Boo when he gets home, don't take the tractor. Tractor's messed up. We got this, this, and this. You know what I mean? So then I call another cousin, and good thing we live down here close, got a lot of family members and that know how to fix a lot of things that I don't know how to fix. And he comes in, and like today, we're sitting over there, we're pressure washing it, we're taking it apart, getting it ready, He's going to get the seals tomorrow, and he's going to put that together. I got a charity event tomorrow to go play in Tiger Point, which I know you played Tiger Point back in the day. But I'm going to go play in that and, do my thing there and come home. And if I get home in time to help them finish up everything that they got going on, I will. If not, then, like I said, you got to have the support behind you to do what we do.
Yeah,
it's hard. I mean, it ain't just what we do; it's everything that we do in life. It's everybody, No matter if you're a truck driver or if you're a dump truck driver or if you're just a guy that's post hole digging, you know what I mean. You got to have somebody to come to and gripe a little bit, let a little bit of frustration out, and be at the same time come back and be you.
Do you think that that's a big part? As we've talked about that, the support at home and the support while you're on the road. Do you think that having that is a big part of what separates great golfers from the good ones?
It all depends on how much money you're making. Like, for real. Like, because you take somebody like me, I live on 460 acres.
Mm-hmm.
And half the time I'm out there by myself doing what I need to get done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to cut the trees. I'm trying to do this, and I've done it for years. At the same time, I've had my dad and my uncle at the time come and help me, and now I got my cousins coming up here and want to be a part of it, and I got another friend of mine that's maybe wanting to move in close by, and they're trying to help me, and the things like that's always going to be your positive side of it. But to be able to do it on your own, you can't do it on your own. I don't care who you are as a person. You can't you can't manage your time and their time and everything else you got in your life going on.
You hear that from people who are successful in particular, especially or once they get to a certain age. When you're young, you think you're strong and you can do everything and I don't need anybody's help and I'm going to do this on my own, which you in some way, shape, or form, you have an understanding of they have the motivation to go do that and they're determined to do it. But you get to a point, you realize there's so many things to do in life and knocks you down, as we've been talking about. kicks you in the ribs, and you got to get back up and go do it again. And sometimes you take enough shots, it's a little bit hard to get back up. And
it's always hard to get back up.
And then that mind starts creeping in.
It's always hard. Like, and that's everything in life. You know as well as I do. I mean, you go through golf, they gonna kick you. I mean, somebody's gonna kick you. You don't think, I just shot the best round of my career, and all of a sudden, you get done, and there's two groups still behind you, and all of a sudden, the guy comes in and like beats you by 2, and you're like, how in the world did he beat me by 2? Like, there's no way that he could beat me by 2. He must like stopped on hole 17, man. You know what I mean? And things like that. I mean, there's always going to be the negative to a positive. And you always got to take the positive and run with it, because life is too short to be worried about the rest of it.
Who were some of the biggest people who had the biggest influence on your career?
I had to say my mom would be my first. My dad would be the second, because he supported all of it, money-wise. And then Jack Slocum, he's Slocum's daddy. Because he more or less got me through all my Q school, like believing what we were doing out there. And then from there, I'd have to say Gene Howard, which was my golf coach in high school, that kind of, like, when I was down and out in 2000, like, I lost my tour card and then went back to Nationwide Tour, and at the time, Buy.com Tour and all that, and was playing out there and trying to figure it out. And I'd go and work with him a little bit, and just try to, like, but these are the people that helped me, yes. That was back then, though. Like now I look back at it and I'm like, well, my kids, like once I got my tour card, and then once I figured out, like, all right, I'm gonna be me now. I'm gonna be an asshole, and I'm finna take over the asshole side of it, and I'm gonna go play golf and don't care about nothing but playing golf. Like, I mean, you gone for 5 weeks and you come home, and I take one, like, and I'm home for 2 weeks. I take 1 week off completely and spend time with my kids. And then the following week, I take them to school and drop them off. But I won't see them till I get home that night, if I was lucky to see them that night, if they ain't already gone to bed. Because I stayed at the golf course doing what I had to do to manage what I had to do to make sure I was going to get to where they can have food on the table.
Was there a little bit, when you were doing that, something inside you pulling at you saying, look, those kids want to spend time with me, I'm only going to be home for another week? Was there a tug of war happening inside you during that time that makes it that much harder?
Well, there's always that tug of war with what you're going to do with your kids. I mean, you can do the right thing and your kids still turn out wrong. Or you can do the wrong thing and your kid turn out right. You know what I mean? It's my biggest thing is just trying to make sure my kids understood how hard I worked to give them what they got. Because if I felt like if I give them my whole responsibility, whether it's work or whether I'm at the house for that one whole week, I gave them everything I had during that whole week. Now, when I leave out for my next 5 weeks or 4 weeks or might be 6 weeks, however long I was gone, I'm still giving them 100% of everything I had. I was just having to do it a different way. I mean, and being a parent, and which is always going to be the toughest thing you ever had to do in your life, is being a parent and understanding your responsibilities as a parent. Whether, you got an awesome wife or you got a woman that understands what you're trying to do or what you're wanting to do in life to better the whole situation, you still got to go out and do it and be that person. And when you come home, you got to be a totally different person, which is the hardest thing for me to comprehend, because I couldn't be that person when I was younger. Now I can be that person. That's why, like, going back to why am I more happier? Because I finally figured out, like, this is me, and this is how I gotta be as a person to keep myself insane and happy, and to be able to maintain the happiness, what I think is happiness, in my other side of my family,
Mm-hmm.
with my kids or Susan, fiance, my cousins, my dad, my mom, the whole 9 yards. Because, them are your biggest fans. Them are the people that believe in you the most. Them are the ones that make or break. If you step out of line, they're the ones that's going to tell you stepped out of line. And that's what you want in life. Hey, you done messed up. Like, okay, well, where did I mess up at? Well, that's when they tell you where you messed up at. And that's, to me, is way more important than it is to say, well, guess what? Kiss my butt. I'm still going to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm making money to better the family. Well, it ain't got nothing to do with making money to make better your family. It's got to be, let's do what's right and let's keep it going in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get those, and without making the mistakes before. Not saying you made the mistake, but just in general, making mistakes, whether it's in your life or your personal life or in your golf, you don't know how to handle things going forward. You got to make those mistakes and trip and fall. Yeah. I think looking back at myself, because I always ask the question, if you were to sit down in a golf cart with Boo Weekley from 2001, when you got through Q school and you're going to go on tour, what would you tell yourself? And I sometimes I have to ask myself that. I would have said, hey, you're going to make mistakes. Don't try to do it perfect all the time. If you make a mistake, don't worry about it. You're going to get better, you're going to improve, and you're going to grow from it. So don't beat yourself up so much. It's hard enough as it is.
You learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
You learn from living on the edge too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to push yourself to that edge. If you can't push yourself to that edge, then you're in the wrong business.
Yes.
You have got to push yourself to that edge, to where you got to think that I'm finna give up, or I'm gonna find another way to figure out, or I'm finna find out another way to make myself get to the other edge, which is your next step up.
Do you ever hear the phrase, if you want to take the island, you got to burn the boats?
Yep.
If you burn the boats, you got no options except to take. That's right.
You finna take this whole island out. You got to burn everything you got, and you do sometimes, and luckily, and I hope I never had to get to that point in my life again. But that's what I felt in 2007, or I shouldn't say 7. I'd say about 5. It'll be 2005 is where I felt that edge, and I knew that I got an option. I'm either gonna burn with the ships, or I'm gonna take the island.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the island. You know what I mean? Because that's when I took control of my whole situation, and I made it better for myself and my kids and my family going forward. Is from 2005 on, because I was like, all right, we're gonna play this nationwide tour. That if we stuck out here with Benny Bates, Josh Broadway, and all my boys, we're gonna take it with them. You know what I mean? We're gonna burn it all down with them. And then all of a sudden, I started playing golf again, and I actually got to where I felt like I could compete and do what I wanted to do, and got happy. I should say I got happy again.
Good.
And that's the hardest thing, is you got to figure out how to get happy. Because golf is a game. I mean, we can't control what's going to happen. It's already written in the skies for you, and we tee it up, man. You just got to go play. Let yourself be free and be you.
After having a career and having the success you've had, and we've talked about some of the challenges that you've gone through, and you've achieved a lot, obviously. What would be the goals going forward, both inside and outside of golf? Unless if you want to keep those personal, no problem. We can go to something else.
Oh, well, I mean, I'd say going forward in golf is very simple. I mean, of course, I want to win. Of course, I want to, stay out on the PGA or the senior tour, the Champions Tour, however they want to call it, till I'm 60, and then be done. Or if I can last that long, if I don't have to have no surgeries or whatever, that to me, that would be awesome. But at the same time, being able to come home, look at Susan in the eyes, tell her I love her, and be able to see Tucker, Parker, Aiden, Berkeley, my other kids, be able to sit there and talk to them and go and have dinner with them, have dinner with us out here on the back porch where I'm sitting right now and enjoying life. To me, I mean, you can't weigh what it brings to you. I mean, golf is great. Golf's always, it's been a blessing to me. The good Lord blessed me. But at the same time, if it was to pass me, it passed me. You know what I mean? And I will find another way to make a living. I'm good at shoveling. If there's anybody listening to the podcast, I'm a good shoveler. I love cows, horses. I can shovel. I can do all that. You know what I mean? But I don't want to have to do all that because that's manual labor again. I don't have to go back that. My body don't work that way hard no more. But at the same time, I love it. You know what I mean? I love the game of golf. I love the camaraderie of being able to, like me and Heath used to say it to each other. Like we'd shake each other's hand or give each other knuckles. And like, I'm finna kick your ass today. I'm kicking your ass. I love you because you're my buddy. When we're all said and done, when we're done and we goes and practice or I go and practice and whatever happens, when it's all said and done, we'll come back. And you know as well as I do, when we played the mini tours, it was the same way. It was still, we're still eating the big dog. We're still trying to eat the big dog. We're going to try to catch that big dog. But when we're out there playing, we're buddies and all. But when we get ready to tee off, guess what? I'm here to kick your butt and the golf course. And when we're done, we'll settle up later. And after that, we'll go have a beer or we'll go sit down and talk and laugh about, man, I can't believe you shanked it. I can't believe you tried to hit that ball out of the water. You know what I mean? It's always that one situation. And to me, that's what makes it great. That's what makes life great, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might go back to the room and say, hey, where did you use your throw during this round?
Don't start that throw stuff. That's Travis. Look, Champ and all of us started that throw. That Travis, I love that sucker. I went and seen him not long ago. Travis Nance, he's up there in Rome, Georgia, and he's a good coach. He's got a lot of good kids, and man, we had a ball just laughing about some of the stories that we did back then. Because he was young, because he was the youngest one out of our whole little crowd.
Yeah, we always gave him
shit. He was so gullible for everything that we did, in which he was learning off of us, and because especially Champ, he's the hooligan out of the bunch, but we had a ball back then, and
man, that was fun.
That dang Travis wanted to do a throw. Dude, that right there ain't even right.
Oh, no. What kind of tour is Jack running? I'm going to give him a piece of my mind tomorrow.
No, it was Jack. What kind of Jack leg tour is Jack running? And I mean, it was Dave Tennant was the one, and because we all started, it was me, Champ, Dave Tennant. It was me, Dave Tennant, and Champ was in at Travis's mama's house and her stepdad's house at the time. And when we brought that up, dude, it was unreal. Because he started believing it, and I had to get up. I had to stick my head in the refrigerator.
The refrigerator, yes.
I stuck my head in the refrigerator, and I was just giggling up in that mug, and I was like laughing like crazy. And then by the time Dave Tennant said, "Boo, tell him you couldn't just like reach over," and I was like standing there, I was like, "Yeah, Travis, you couldn't just reach over and grab the ball and take like a crow hop and throw it back out. You had to stand there and." Because it was like right on like where the carpet and going into the linoleum in the house where the refrigerator was. I said, you had to reach right there, you can grab it, you had to throw it like over your head, backwards, back in play. And dude, it was, he said, I knew that Stan, I can't remember Stan something. Stan Gann. He goes, I knew that Stan Gann couldn't beat me. That cheating son of a gun, la, 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 la. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, dude, we had him hook, sinker, the whole 9 yards. And then sure enough, next morning we show up at the golf course. He drove straight up to Jack going to the first tee. He's like, man, listen, how did I not see that we get a throw? He goes, what are you talking about, Travis? Look, I just went ahead and make me a left turn to get out of Dodge because I didn't want to be a part of it.
Oh man, when you get to 60 and you've got a number of wins on the Champions Tour like you do on the regular tour, and you're already fishing and hunting, and you're golfing, what are you going to retire to?
Just more fishing and hunting. Just better fishing and hunting, the way I look at it. Then I can say, all right, look, I can go up and shoot me. I can go up to these like big hunting camps, like these exotic hunting camps. I shouldn't say shooting exotic deer or shooting exotic whatever, because I get more of a thrill. My blood gets pumping when I shoot a doe to a spike to whatever. I don't like, I just like to shoot a deer. I like smelling a gunpowder is like that'd be my cocaine or my fentanyl or whatever they want to call it nowadays, drugs, heroin or the boost, whatever they want to call it. But that's my whole drug is smelling gunpowder. Like if I can smell gunpowder, I got some. I'm in business.
When I was shooting guns, one of the first things I did. I mean, I was in all sports as a kid, like we all were.
Right.
My dad was a licensed gun dealer. It was his hobby, because he had grown up all around guns out in the country. Mm-hmm. And I was shooting guns, I think, since I was 5 years old. And you're right. And he used to load his own bullets and do all that stuff. And just the smell of gunpowder to me still is just something that I've always enjoyed. I mean, someone might listen to us in the big city thinking these two guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Like love the smell of gunpowder. It's like, no, that and the oil for the stock of a barrel, and then the cleaning solution. I could smell that from like a shark smells blood. I smell that, and it just.
You know something's fitting to happen.
Yes.
You know something's about to happen. And I'm 100% with you on that. But like I said, smelling gunpowder, like I go to me, the greatest thing that if you could take, if I could take somebody's a city slicker that's never shot a gun, that's never had anything to do with guns, that's an anti-gun person. And I understand, like, a lot of people don't want to kill things. I get that. That's their business. But at the same time, if they had to grow up knowing that, hey, look, what you're about to shoot is what you got to eat. And this is all you're going to have to eat meat-wise. Mm-hmm. You ain't a vegetarian. You ain't all this. You got to shoot something to eat, to live, to survive. I take them dove hunting and say, here you go. Let's have fun. Because you can talk and communicate. You can holler back and forth. You can shoot birds. You can laugh. Hey, you missed that son of a gun. Mm-hmm. In which we've all, if anybody's ever been dove hunting, quail hunting, pheasant hunting, checker hunting, whatever they want to call it hunting, you're going to miss. This ain't no different in golf. It's no different than anything else that we do. Because ain't nobody perfect. There's nobody perfect. You know what I mean? But to go out and say, hey, look, I'm going to take somebody dove hunting, especially a kid that's never done it, that needs it, like needs to go out and let a little stress out. Because hunting, you let stress out. People don't understand it. You let stress out. Because when you start pulling that trigger, you let pow, pow, pow. You're letting things out that like, holy cow, I cannot believe I'm feeling this, or because it's kicking you, like a shotgun. You know how shotguns will kick you, or a rifle will kick you. You get your eye too close, and all of a sudden it gives you a little cut over the top of the eye. I mean, if you ain't ever been there, then you ain't never really hunted in a hard situation. You know what I mean? And to me, that's life. That's how I grew up. I'm not saying that's how everybody else should grow up, but that's how I grew up. And I want everybody to experience it, to understand it. And I understand there's people out there that don't eat meat. That's their problem. You know what I mean? But to live, you got to have meat, man.
Yep. At some point.
You got to have some kind of protein coming into that body. And the only way to live is sooner or later somebody's got to kill a cow. Somebody's got to kill a sheep. Somebody's got to do it. Whether you know it, whether you see it, whether you don't. But it all comes down to one thing. It's called killing. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing in golf. You got to have the killer instinct. You got to have it to provide, supervise, to go and be who you want to be, whether you're playing golf or you're not playing golf.
How do you want fans to remember you when you get to that point? When you're ready to retire, you're ready to step away, how do you want everyone to remember you?
Just being me. I don't like. I ain't asking nothing. I don't want. I. To me, honestly, I ain't earned it. I ain't won 70-something tournaments. I ain't won 50-something tournaments. I ain't won 40-something tournaments. However many tournaments you got to win for somebody to remember you by. That ain't. I play the game because I love it. I play the game because I believe in it's the most humane game that you're gonna play, because it's the only game that you can honestly play that you got to call a stroke on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's the only thing that you can do as a person. So I don't expect nobody to honor me for what I've done or what I ain't done. But at the same time, I mean, I just want people to remember, hey, that sucker right there had a good time. He was funny. He enjoyed. I enjoyed it more than they will ever know what enjoyment is of the game, because it's given me so much, and the Lord's blessed me enough to give me everything that I got. And you got to be able to look back and say, "Here I am." Whether you like it or not, Nick, here I am. I'm coming or going. Here I am. You gonna like it or you ain't gonna like it, and which a lot of people don't like it. They don't understand. I mean, a lot of people, like, we did a thing last week, or I think it was the week before last. My last tournament in Virginia, one of the media guys, he put a camera, one of them whatever cameras, like, up in my car.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand. Like, and I'm singing, I'm beep 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 beep, because I'm in a golf cart. Like, get out of the way. Beep, 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 beep.
We did see that, yeah, on Instagram.
You know what I mean? And that's who I am. Like, I left this morning going to vote, and the whole time I'm rocking to my own music, like, on the radio. Like, it was the radio playing, because I can't figure out how to hook my phone up to my truck. It's an old Toyota. It's a 2014 Toyota. I still ain't figured out how to hook my phone up to it. But I just listen to the radio. Well, they're playing some good old rock and roll music. You know what I mean? I listen to the 60s, the 80s, whatever it was. I think it's the 80s, 90s, whatever it was. You know what I mean? And I'm having a good time by myself in my vehicle, just being me. But that's me. You know what I mean? I enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know, man, it can pass you right by. It's going to pass you by.
Yes.
It's going to pass you by. If you don't enjoy it, it's going to pass you by. Because if you want to be miserable, that's on you. That's your part. That's what you want to be. Don't come to my neighborhood. I got nothing. Look, I'll put you in an oak tree, and you can be miserable up there with them acorns. Or a chestnut, or whatever you want to be with.
What, I got a couple of questions that came in from Instagram, social posts, and I think maybe
right, come on
Twitter. Just a few on this one. So one was, what's better, Texas or Carolina rig?
Texas or Carolina what?
Rig. Fishing lure?
Rig. It all depends on if I'm fishing deep water or shallow water. I mean, I mostly fish Texas rig,
mm-hmm.
because I'm only fishing in 4, 5, 6 foot of water, 7 foot of water. But if I'm fishing a little bit deeper and the water's not as swift or something like that, I'll go with the Carolina rig.
Let's see. Here's another. Favorite club in your bag?
7-iron.
Damn, that was quick.
7-iron. Because I can hit a cut, I can hit a draw, I can hit it high, I can hit it low. I can make it do things like, and it don't matter. Like, like when I go and practice, usually I bring an extra 7-iron with me so I can beat it up, just so I don't wear the grooves out of my actual regular irons. Because I'll stand out there and I'm liable to hit Sometimes I'm liable to hit 500 balls to 600-700 balls, or turn around, I might only hit 200 and go out and play 18 holes and then come back and practice what I want to practice. But I always go to a 7-iron because I think that because your 7-iron is the middle of your set.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got 15 clubs. And if you take a 7-iron, it's more like your 5-iron or it's more like your wedge. All depends on what you want to do with it.
Right.
Like, I can go around my golf course that me and Heath and Bubba all grew up on, Tanglewood. I go around that golf course with a 7-iron. And, I'll put it in the back of my stance. I hood it, hit little trap draws, make it run, and do different things with it, But we're out there, and I'm going to try to shoot 75 and below. That's my goal with my 7-iron. And I'm playing and that golf course ain't but 6,400 yards from the back tee. It's a little short golf course. It used to be real tight till Hurricane Ivan and some other hurricanes. Aaron and Opal came through in 94, and 94 is when it actually started opening up. And then when Hurricane Ivan came through, it kind of wiped out a lot more of the trees. But
Mm-hmm.
it used to be really, really, really tight to where you had to keep it below the tree limbs. It's kind of like Hilton Head. You know what I mean? Like they had to maneuver the golf ball.
Yeah, you could be on the left side of the fairway and have no shot at the green unless you put a big curve on it.
Right. Yes. And that's the thing. That's why you learn from like your 7-iron. You can learn how to curve it with a 7-iron. You learn how to draw it with a 7-iron. You learn how to hit these different little bump and runs, or you learn how to hit different shots. And like I said, it's the middle, because you got 15 or 14 clubs in your bag. And your 7-iron is really the middle of the clubs. It's the middle of the clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can learn how to hit different shots with that, chip with it, putt with it, the whole 9 yards, then you'll learn a lot more about how to control, like, the scoring of golf, how to figure out how to score in golf.
How do you? I've got a lot of old injuries, and they don't seem like they're old anymore. They seem like they just new. But when you mentioned you'll hit 500 balls or 250 and go play. How do you and then when you get a sponsor exemption, you said you're playing the Monday Pro-Am, the Wednesday Pro-Am, Thursday Pro-Am, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. How do you keep the body that you have? And you've had surgeries, you've had injuries. How do you keep it to where you can do that, 6 days a week for 3-4 weeks in a row?
Usually the first week I go out, because usually when I come home, because we only it ain't like the PGA Tour where you can kind of build, I don't have a full schedule, or I take that back. I'm not fully exempt, so I can't build my schedule around the golf courses I like yet. Now, when I got out on tour, as a rookie, I had to learn, and then I lost my tour card. And when I came back out, learned. All right, well, then all of a sudden I learned these golf courses. Well, I knew these golf courses are the ones I could play at. These are the ones I felt like I can compete at. So, same thing with the senior tour, the Champions Tour. I'm still trying to learn the golf courses, but now what I'll do is I'll go out and practice. Like if I got to go play in the Monday Pro-Am, well, I'll go out early that morning and say it's a 12 o'clock shotgun. I'll go out that morning and practice hard. And I mean, do all my drills, practice on where I need, I'm trying to hit a certain shot for this golf course, or this, because it's this golf course might be more demanding of a cut shot off the tee.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll stand out there and that's what I'll practice. Well, then we'll go and play the Pro-Am. And then Tuesday I'll come back and do a little more work, play 9 holes or something like that. But don't work as hard at it, but still put in a little bit of my time, practice putting, chipping, the little things. And then, because I got Wednesday to play the Pro-Am, so now I'm going to stand up there Wednesday and do the exact same thing. I'm going to practice hitting cuts, practice this, practice that, before I go out and play the Pro-Am. And then when I go out, like I said, the whole time you're still entertaining. You're trying to be a person of interest to make your Pro-Am partners or Pro-Am guys happy. And it's hard. I mean, because, you might not feel good. You might not, you might not want to be there at that time.
Right.
And it's a hard thing to do, especially knowing that you got to play 3 days and then you got to play another 3 days in the tournament. Because at the same time, we want to be done. Like, I want to be done playing like, if I know I got a tournament and I got to play in all these pro-ams, I want to play first thing in the morning, like at daylight. Like, I want to be the first one out playing, so I'm done by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock that afternoon. Well, I can go back home, whether I lay in a bath, a hot tub, a cold tub, go and ride a bike just for a second, stretch my back out, whatever. I'm done for that afternoon. Now I can go lay down in the bed and I can sleep or lay there, just relax, let my body relax, let my whole system kind of go down in that little low.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hardest thing, is to get yourself to be able to do that.
Yeah, the relaxing is a huge thing. I think we talked about that earlier. Even getting your brain and body to shut off so you can get a good night's rest is so
Good luck
invaluable.
there.
Yeah.
Good luck, dude. The only thing I know to do is you're gonna have to, we're gonna have to call the car, or what some people call the Mexicans down there, to see if they're sending some of their stuff up to us. I mean, that's about the only way you're gonna get you that stuff related, like, where you can relax, man. Like, you gotta call, you gotta get you gotta call some druggies or something to fix you up, bro. Because you ain't, look, if you ain't taking nothing to, you gotta find something to help you relax, and it's tough. I mean, having a couple beers or having a shot of wine or having little things to help your mind relax, and alcohol ain't always, the solution.
Shit, just hanging around Ernie will get you relaxed. He's about as laid back as they get.
Who?
Ernie Els.
Oh, dude, that joker there, yeah. Well, man, at the same time, you got to figure out he had a rough go getting where he was at.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, which you take everybody. I mean, they ain't like I said, ain't nothing given to us.
No.
Everybody worked their way to where they're at, and Ernie's one of the good ones that can dang sure smile about what he's done and where he's been and how he's done it. I mean, he's got an autistic child, you know what I mean, that he's still having to help take care of and do everything. I mean, everybody's got their own problems.
Yes, it's all how you deal
how
with
you
it.
handle.
Yeah.
And it's tough, but it all depends on how you handle.
Mm-hmm. You want to wrap up with some emergency 9? We'll just do some 9 questions and then I get you out of there. I'm sure Susan's probably.
Yeah, that'd be good. I've been having to run to the restroom anyway.
All right, I'll make it quick. First one and last one everybody has gotten, but I mix and match the ones in between, and it's just to kind of have fun. So you were already on the Ryder Cup, but I don't think they were doing this when you were there. But cranking the music as you walk up to the first hole. So let's say Champions Tour next year, they say at this event we're gonna crank some music, and you get to pick the song. What are you gonna have them play when
Country
you walk
Boy
up?
Can't Survive.
All right. Who sings that? I'm not up to speed on
Hank.
that. Country
Hank
Boy
Williams.
Can't Survive. Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hollywood calls you, and they say, "Boo, we've been watching you for a long time, and we want to make a movie about your life. And not only are we going to do that, we're going to let you pick the actor that plays you. Who are you going to have him pick?"
I couldn't tell you. I can ask Susan because she knows somebody.
Go ahead.
I
was going to say Kevin James.
Kevin James. There you go. Kevin James. I don't watch a whole lot of TV, so Kevin
That's
James.
all right. All right, perfect. We got your what's your favorite club in the bag, Carolina Rig. Here we go. If you could put a restaurant, any chain or any restaurant in your kitchen, because I know you like food, and I know you've been to a lot of them around the world. What restaurant or chain are you putting in your kitchen?
I had to say Burger King. I love me a Whopper, buddy. Look, dude, I mean, that's all. Look, I grew up on the Whoppers. I had to say a Whopper.
Most people like Ruth Chris or this thing.
Oh no, look, dude, they're
Burger
wasting
King.
time, man. That takes too long, man. Look, you get a burger off of Burger King, it smells like you just pulled that mug straight off the grill.
Flame broil.
Flame bro, baby.
Oh man. If you could sit in a cart for 4 hours and talk to anybody you wanted to, not playing golf, you're just gonna sit in the cart, have a good conversation. Who's it gonna be?
Golfer or just like
Anybody you want, anybody in history.
that is living or has lived or
What anyone
like,
you want.
mean, like you gotta. I'd have to ask the Lord, man. I'd love to sit down and just talk to the good Lord. I know I'm gonna get to meet him, but I mean, like, actually, I don't know. That's a tough one to me because, like, my mom, I love sit and talk with my mom, but my grandparents, my granddaddy, my grandma. I mean, but I'd have to sit there and say, I want the Lord.
You know that's probably the most popular one. You're not alone there. A lot of people have said that.
Because I that's tough because I'd like to know everything that I don't want to know why. I just want to know how I got to myself in this predicament.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to know why. I just want to know how. I want to know what made it for me to get to this side, or what made me go to this way. That's what I want to know is the why, not the how.
He's probably going to tell you that he put the fork in the road and you're the one that made the decisions.
Yes, exactly right. But you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to hear it from him.
That'd be a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
A couple more. What's worse, overcooked steak or iron covers?
Iron covers.
Iron covers?
Dude, I could gnaw on a steak, but I can't look. There ain't no need to put no iron covers on no dang golf clubs. Like that, no. Nuh-uh. That's like wearing a pair of pants with your rain pants over it and it's 100 degrees out. Like, for real? Like, why? No. I
thought you get a kick out of that one.
No, I do. Like that right there. Like, if I see somebody with some iron covers, he's already a beat ass. like that'd be like Champ when he showed up. Like, dude, you already beat. Love you, Champ, but I'm telling you, when you showed up with them iron covers, I knew you was beat. We had to figure out. Look, we ended up having to throw them away. I had to hide them from him.
Hey, you left them in the cart. Don't worry about them. They're thrown away now.
I went to the nearest little old garbage can. I was hiding them in there. I was throwing them in the garbage can. Poor Champ.
You know, your phone or my phone is going to be ringing as soon as he hears that. This comes out Sunday morning. I'm sure by noon you're going to get a phone call or I'm going to get a text.
I know I will. Look, I ain't worried about it.
Oh, let's see. A couple more. And I know you guys got important things to do tonight. Like, relax. What have you spent $1,000 on that you happily paid for it? Let's say in the past year or so.
I was going to say, I'd say the biggest thing I was happy about buying was my first tractor. But that was in 07 now.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it might have been 08. I think it was 08. I finally bought me a tractor, and I've always wanted my own tractor, and I've always used my granddaddy's or my dad's or a buddy's or something like that. But in the last year, 2 years, I'd say building a house. Me and Susan's got a house now, and I'd say that's in the last couple of years, that'd be the greatest thing.
Well, that's
because now we got a homestead, and I feel like everything's coming together. Like being happy again and being happy with who I am and making her happy and making families, not making families, but making my family happy, my kids, her kids. Because now we got a place that we can call our own where they can come and eat and sit around with us. And we can actually sit in there with no phones, talk, shoot the breeze, have fun.
There you go. And I think that's why you do what you do. That's why you do the hard things. That's why you practice, hit all the balls, grind it out when you don't want to. So when you sit around them, and either while they're there and you stop and think while everyone's talking, or after they go home, and you say,
Oh yeah.
"Man, this is why I do
That's
it."
one thing I love about my woman. We can sit there, we can talk, and I'm talking about talk and laugh about things that our kids done after they done left an hour ago. You know what I mean? And that's what makes our whole situation awesome to me. Is because in the past, like I said, I was an asshole or whatever they want to call it, but I was too busy trying to maintain and carry everything I had on my back.
Mm-hmm.
Where now I'm free again and being able to be me again and having fun again.
And it's showing.
It is. I can promise you can see the smile on my face day in and day out.
Yep, like when you're calling them Gators over and Thomas Bjorn's about ready to shit himself.
Hey, look, we call them Gators. My son even impressed me this year because he called one up on the green while we was in the Pro-Am because he was down there in Tallahassee with me. He came down and hung out with me. I'm very fortunate. My oldest one got to come and hang out. Parker did, and we was down there, and I taught him when he was younger too, to be able to call him. But he don't hunt and fish like I do, but to still be able to have the ability to learn and listen, to what I say as a grown up to their siblings or kids, excuse me, and for them to actually take it and learn with it, and him sitting there calling a gator up, it made me feel good.
Yeah, I think if you live in the Southeast, you got to learn how to do that.
Nah, I ain't gonna say you got to, but it's a good thing to have. It's a good trait to have.
It's a fun thing to have.
Oh yeah,
especially when you get like me. When I get friends or family come visit from up north, and we'll be out golfing, I'll call them. They say, "What the hell are you doing?" So just calm down.
Whoa! It's a gator coming. There's something coming at us. Like, what are we doing?
Yes, it's a fun thing to do. Oh, to a certain point, you don't want to mess with them too much.
Nah, it'd be all right.
You're this one I was anxious to hear your answer because I know you've been in a lot of gas stations on the road. So what's your top 3 gas station snacks?
Funyuns, Mountain Dew, and I'm gonna have to say the beef and cheddar stick.
Oh damn! That might be good going in. Can't be too good coming out.
Oh no, dude! There's been many times I pulled over on the side of the road and let some everything out. You know what I mean? I always travel with a roll of toilet paper in the back of my truck. Always in my back seat or in my toolbox, I got some toilet paper. Because you don't look. I used to carry it in my golf bag where I had like little wet wipes. Dude, you don't ever know, man. You got no emergencies. You got to go step off.
Hey, I'll tell you this story real quick. So speaking of keeping whips in your golf bag, he might get mad at me, but it's okay. So I went home one summer to Michigan. And my dad and I go play golf, and it's one of those weeks where it's just 100 some degrees. And why we went to play golf at 3:00 in the afternoon, I have no idea. Maybe because that's the only time we could fit it in. And we get to about the 3rd hole, and he's, "Oh man, I gotta go in the woods." I said, "What do you mean in the woods?" He said, I gotta go to the bathroom. I said, "Yeah." In the middle of the golf course, he said, "I'm going in the woods." He said, "Besides, I got baby wipes in my bag."
That's right. Look, I used to travel with them in my bag. Preparation. Look, I take all of them. It didn't matter to me. Whatever I could find that was on sale, I'd carry them in my bag. I had them on the side pocket, especially them. Our tour bags are bigger, and they got a lot more room. You can hide stuff in them mugs. And I'd hide them in that bottom side down there. And buddy, if we had to go, it was on like Donkey Kong.
Here, the last one. I'll be interested. I probably, this is generational mostly. Usually anyone under 50 is leaned heavily towards one and over 50 is heavily towards the other. But in your opinion, because you watched the career of one and then the other one, you had an upfront seat because you were there. The greatest golfer of all time, who's the GOAT in your opinion?
On tour, I got to play with Jack when he was, finishing up he was already done with his career and playing with Tiger. He was finishing up his career or in the middle of like really beginning. And I mean, in my era, it's going to be Tiger. Jack by far, I wish I'd have got to see him in his heyday to actually play with him.
Mm-hmm.
Arnold Palmer the same way, you know. I mean, they call him the king, you know, not just because he was good at golf, but a lot of other things. But I would have loved to have seen both of it. You know what I mean? Both sides of the riddle, because that ain't nothing but a riddle to me. Because you can't pick one or the other. You know what I mean? Because I was born in the Tiger era, and don't get me wrong, Jack is somebody you look back to like Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino, Fuzzy Zeller. I mean, you look back at all these guys. I mean, these are some of the greatest. You know what I mean? And to be able to watch them and to be able to be a part of what all they've done in their careers, because they built golf to make it to what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to say I got to play on some of the golf courses that they got to play on, and to do some of the things that they got to do, and hit some of the shots, and they, you know, and spectators say, "Man, I've seen that shot. That's better than Jack Nicklaus's shot." You know, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine, and to be able to go out to those places and say, "Man, here's where Jack hit it from. Let's go drop one down over there."
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly right. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like they're standing on the bridge of St. Andrews and they're waving everybody. It's their last time to play, and to be able to walk across that bridge and know there's been not just, you know, the American side, but everybody just walked across the bridge, man.
The history.
I mean, it ain't just about them. It's about the whole history of the whole thing of golf.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they still going to say the home of golf started in Scotland, and it is for them Scotland mother truckers. But home of golf started for me at Tanglewood right here in Milton, Florida. You know what I mean? That's where I grew up playing golf at. That's the home of golf for me. You know, they can call it how they want to call it, but you can call a spade, but it's still going to be a spade.
You might be able to get them to make sure it's Tanglewood, the home of golf, and then under it or on the back for Boo Weekley.
Boo Weekley, the home of golf. Boo Weekley. That's right. Home of Bubble. I'm the oldest, and it went Heath and then Bubba. You know what I mean? So it's the home of golf for us three, dog. You know.
Well, damn, have we missed anything? I mean, we just blew through 2 hours like it was nothing.
Nah, dude. We all good.
All right, it's been a blast. It's always good to catch up with. I wish I was close. I wish we could somehow arrange some DP Tour reunion.
I do too. But Jack, Jack ain't doing good, man.
I heard.
He's got Alzheimer's now, and I played with him a couple of weeks. Oh no, it was last week. No, it was earlier this week. Wasn't it? Or was it last week? Whatever it was. When I got back home from playing, I went and played with the fun. They call it the Fun Bunch in Bruton, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Which we only live 20 minutes from up there in Bruton. And I went up there and played with them, and I actually got paired with him because, it's a Fun Bunch. But it was like it's 5 on or 6 on 7 or whatever it was. We're having fun, just playing golf. And I got to play with my stepson, Tucker, and, we're out there just goofing off. And, Jack would come to me and ask me, and say, "Hey, man, when do you play next?" And I told him, we got Q school, and then about a hole later, he'd ask me the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just that dementia, and I feel so bad for Miss Kay. Miss Kay. And
tell her I said hello.
The whole family. He's got 2 sisters. I grew up with them all, and for the future is coming to him, I feel sorry for him and what's going to happen, because it's tough, because I lost 3 grandparents to it, and it's a tough disease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see them, tell them I said hello. I miss them as well.
I will, buddy.
All right.
Good to hear from you, Pito.
Hang out just a minute, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.